Okay, we're on part 2 of these stupid shits of reading Sandra Hill. Gonna read My Fair Viking Experts, so we'll see how this goes. Chapter 1. Testosterone made her do it. She had no one to blame but herself. Joy Nelson, a seemingly intelligent woman with a master's degree in psychology, about to start a doctorate program at Yale, had made some stupid choice in her life, mostly because she had spent way too much of her 26 years competing with her 3 older brothers, or doing incredibly stupid things after being egged on by the 3 muscadopes, as she called them. Sorry, got cold. I should probably scrap this shit. But this one beats the cake, and it broke her heart thinking about why she'd done it. Here she was, in the mud up to her eyeballs on San Clement's Island, one grueling year into her training program to become a female Navy SEAL. And doesn't that fall into the category of, what was I thinking? It all began when she was about 12 years old, and well on her way to her eventual 5'10", towering over all her classmates. What girl in the thrones of puberty wants to have boys looking up to her, making tall jokes? First of all, I'm really offended by this, because as a short person, I would love to be 5'10", but you know what? Fucking, what's her bitch ass name? Who's this fucking cunt? Fucking Joy? Why don't you get some joy out of being goddamn tall? Jesus. Huh. Tall people problems. No, I don't want to hear that shit. Anyway, back to the book. Not to mention 3 older jock brothers, Matt, Jerry, and Tom. God, they sound like douchebag names. Who were not shy about their observations, even when they had gone to be an Air Force pilot. Why did all 3 of them... Oh, okay, never mind. I read this wrong. Whoops. Wall Street hotshot broker and NFL football player, respectively. I love how all 3 of these guys have obvious jobs that anyone can just get. This is just so very realistic that I can't. I mean, I wish that some of us could be Air Force pilots, Wall Street hotshot brokers, and NFL football players. Check your privileges, Joy. Jesus. Also, it hadn't happened that she had curly red hair, bright curly red hair. Think Orphan Annie, but not so cute. I dare you had been a common refrain around the house. And I double dog dare you had been the worst challenge of all to a little girl trying to keep up with 3 young Rambos. I dare you to climb that tree, her older brother Matt had challenged her, the one outside the principal's office. The jerks had even taken pictures of that incident and loved to bring them out on the most embarrassing occasions. Her hanging from the limb, Barbie underpants exposed. What is this, kitty porn? Jesus. With Mr. Clemens yelling at her, more like looking up at her like the damn pervert he is. I dare you to try this hair toner, Jerry had suggested one day. My girlfriend says it will give you gold highlights. Her hair turned green. What's wrong with some green-ass hair, girl? There were photos of that disaster, too. If you want to lose your butt... Tom had suggested. Who knew I even had a butt? Why not try competitive weightlifting? You know, bodybuilding. I double dog dare you. You'd think she'd learn after the goddamn second double dog dare. She did, and in the process gained some manly shoulders and lost most of her breast. But now, you know what? Brighter side, she can beat those assholes up. No kidding, no boobs. But she still had a butt. Guys like some ass, girl, a little bit of junk in that trunk do you some good. They were still laughing over that one. Well, 2 of them were. While her brothers had excelled in sports, what, did they die? I don't know. Why 2? What happened to the 3rd one? Through college, she felt compelled to do the same. Therefore, she'd been an All-American tennis player. Oh, you just picked the most lit sport. Tennis? Come on, girl. Softball pitcher. Oh, you're pitching something. Basketball forward and marathon runner. For every trophy they won, she earned 2, but didn't have to be a psychologist to understand the subliminal God, this girl's done damn near everything. What a fucking Mary Sue ass shit. Subliminal dynamic that had been going on there. Despite all the teasing and competition, they had been the best brothers in the world. Goddamn, so beautiful. In fact, they pretty much raised her, even before their dad, an army lifer. What the fuck is an army lifer? Died when she was 18. Their mother had passed years earlier. Of course, both her parents died. She can't have a happy childhood. This is so fucking Mary Sue. Earlier, of cancer when Joy had only been 8. Obviously, I have room to talk, even though Jean's family is pretty much all dead and was raised by his sister. But you know what? He ain't a softball player. He's crazy. This girl's a psychiatrist. Just saying. Matt had especially been her anchor, filling in when their father had been away on duty billets around the world. Matt had been the one who explained menstruation to her and purchased her first pads. He'd been the one whose shoulder she cried on after being dumped by her first boyfriend. He'd been the one who told her about birth control and warned her about fast boys and their smooth lines from experience, no doubt. Oh, Matt, you player wanting to fuck your sister, probably. What backwoods trash are you people? He was the one she called first with the good news, or bad. But she was getting ahead of herself. Oh, she wants the D. She wants that Matt D. Fast forward to her 25th year and day, which changed her life forever. And yes, it was related to her brothers. Oh, brother, where art thou? She was an intern at the Meadows. Meadows, a psychiatrist clinic in rural Pennsylvania, about to finish up her last group therapy session of the day with her master's thesis. Completed and approved at nearly Penn State, she would be moving to New Haven in 2 weeks for doctorate studies at Yale. The group today was one labeled self-esteem. Only you can determine your worth. However, as the faculty included adults and children as young as 5 on both an inpatient and outpatient basis, those here today were all young teenagers, 3 girls and 1 boy. So, Cindy, tell us how you've been doing this week. Cindy, a 15-year-old girl recovering anorexia, replied, I've gained 2 pounds. Well, that's good news, Joy applauded, encouraging the others to follow suit. But you don't appear happy. I'm getting fat. Cindy sank down into her folding chair as only a teenager could, and pressed her lower lip sulkily. If only she could see herself as others did, little more than a skeleton. What's your total weight, honey? Cindy's gaunt face bloomed pink. Reluctantly she admitted, 98 pounds. When she had been admitted 2 months ago, she'd been dying at an alarming 80 pounds. You know you can't be discharged until you're up to 110. You're 5'7", for goodness sake. At even that weight, you'd still be slim. I look like a pig, she disagreed. Remember my promise. If you get up to 102 before I'll leave in 2 weeks, I'll bring a makeup consultant in here and show you just how beautiful you are. I've seen her case samples. Wow. Her face brightened up. Was there ever a teenage girl who didn't love makeup? I think you look good. Andy Barrow from Cindy's other side. They were sitting in a small circle in her office. Sydney flashed him a glare of disgust, which of course embarrassed Andy, who was one screwed-up 16-year-old, the product of sexual and physical abuse from a young age. He had he was addicted to cocaine and into tattoos, mostly covering his body. "Cindy, you know better than that," Joy chided. "I'm sorry," Cindy told Andy. But of course the damage was done. Andy got up abruptly, knocking over the chair, and rushed from the room. Shit, this thing's still recording. "I'm sorry," Sydney repeated to the rest of them, tears brimming in her eyes. Joy brought the other two girls into discussion then. Alicia, a high school sophomore who continued to blame herself for being gang-raped at a party, and Laura Sees, who was failing academically in senior high despite having a very high IQ, no doubt due to some undisclosed home issues. She'd been caught cutting herself on more than one occasion. Multiple occasions, if you will. Joy was concluding the counselor session when she glanced up and saw two of her brothers standing in the doorway. "Cherry, Tom, what's up? You told me you couldn't make it for graduation." After the girls left the room giggling at the sight of the good-looking visitors, they came in, shutting the door behind them, each giving her a big hug and kiss. She smiled, not having seen them in person for months. Her brothers did not smile back. What happened?" Fear suddenly riddened her body. Light-headed, she leaned against the chair. "It's Matt, isn't it?" And that's where I'll leave off, folks.